Hey there everyone, I hope you're ready to see the coloring pages I completed in December. Not only do I color them, but I bring them to life with my own memories, dreams, and emotions. So what stories will unfold this month? Well, keep watching to find out and to see what colorful creations I was quite disappointed with. Finishing this giraffe head brought back such a wave of nostalgia. The giraffe's long neck stretches gracefully up the page. Its big, curious face seems to just sparkle with life. And the intricate patterns on its fur gave me so much room to play with color and metallics, and to add a beautiful blue sky hanging out in the background. As I worked on the spots, I remembered how much I loved seeing giraffes at the zoo as a child. I'd always be in awe of how tall they were, towering over everything, and how gently they reached down to munch on leaves or even interact with the zookeepers. Coloring this page felt like a little trip back in time, bringing that same sense of wonder and joy right into my hands for them to express their creativity. As I started on this coloring page, I imagined the story of two old-world cottages. The warm stone walls, the quaint windows, and the charming rooftops that just seemed to whisper tales of a simpler time. I pictured what it might be like to live here. Inside the cottages would be filled with cozy decor, soft, worn-out furniture, and shelves lined with old books that were busting at the seams, and long-lost treasures, with a comforting glow of a crackling fire in the background. And in my head, I could smell the fresh scent of bread baking in the oven. Beyond the cottages, a rolling field of green stretches endlessly, filled with wildflowers swaying in the gentle breeze and sunshine. Time just felt slower and life felt sweeter. It's the kind of place that invites you to pause, breathe, and soak in the beauty of the world. This little scene in my coloring book isn't just an image, it's a glimpse into a peaceful daydream, one that I've brought to life with simple colored pencils. This coloring page scene reminded me so much of our cozy evenings at home. In the picture, a dog is resting peacefully on someone's leg, content in the warmth of a crackling fire, a steaming hot beverage completing the perfect moment of comfort. It made me think of our dog, Ruby, who just turned 8 years old, who has the same loving habit. Ruby would always rather sit with one of us than sit on her own. So no matter where we are, she finds her way to our side, either curling up on our lap or against us. And her pearl white fur is like a warm blanket. I imagine that the dog in this scene must be a lot like our dog Ruby, seeking closeness, not for warmth, but for connection. The glow of the fire, the stillness of the moment, and that loyal companion resting nearby. It's a little snapshot of what joy our pets bring into our lives. This coloring page isn't just a quiet moment captured in art. It's a reminder of the love we share with Ruby, who fills our days with comfort and companionship. This next coloring book page is one that I finally completed. I haven't really completed any within this book yet because I was having a hard time relating to some of the pictures or finding something that I would enjoy coloring, or even finding a story within it to make it easier for me. So I went ahead and colored this one page using alcohol markers. This mermaid coloring page has been quite a journey for me. When I first started it, I wasn't happy with the color combination that I chose. It just didn't feel right, so I put the book aside for a couple months, hoping I would get some fresh perspective. Here is the color combination that I started with. It was brighter colors, but I wasn't happy with how the blues and the teal color were going together. But when I came back to it, I decided to go in a completely different direction, leaning into darker colors. And even with the changes, I still wasn't quite happy with this picture. I'm not really sure if it's just the color combination or I'm just not really feeling the design to start with. But not every page can turn out perfect, and that's just part of creativity. Within this coloring book, there were 2 pages that I had started a few weeks ago and put aside because I wasn't liking how the color combinations were turning out. This first animal skull page started off looking what I thought was bad with light colors, but after working on it, I ended up really liking the final result and the combination of the pastels. Now on the other hand, I colored the snail and mushroom page, and I just felt like this page was too bland, and unfortunately, I just wasn't really happy with how this one turned out either, but I didn't want to go back and change the colors and everything, so I'm leaving it as is. This coloring page with the mini bottles and the corks was so much fun because I used colored pencils on every design. And it reminded me of those crystal growing kits that many of the kids have nowadays that they can grow for fun science projects. But for some reason, this also reminded me of the sea monkeys trend from years ago that you placed in a container and you let them grow. Does anyone else remember those besides me? This mountain cabin scene reminds me of an area that we live close to, which is the Great Smoky Mountains, and going to Gatlinburg for shopping trips, looking at nature, and just having fun. There's plenty of log cabins within Gatlinburg in the mountains. And in the wintertime, the snow-tipped mountains look absolutely stunning. The bright colored flowers remind me of summertime and the warm weather, and the wintertime of a cozy, warm log cabin. And there's plenty of shopping trips that we've had over the years with family and going to see Christmas lights in the wintertime. This next coloring page also reminds me of the Great Smoky Mountains and the wildlife and the trees within the national park. Finishing this giraffe scene brought back more recent memories of a safari adventure and my visit to Disney's Animal Kingdom with friends on a girls' trip back in 2020. The giraffe's gentle, expressive eyes and tall neck made me think of being able to spot them gracefully roaming the savannah, or at least at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I did try to use some earthy tones with yellows and browns and hints of green, and even some glitter pins to bring out the details. This page really feels like a piece of wild right here in the middle of the page, and it's such a reminder of the peaceful yet exciting vibes of being surrounded by amazing wildlife. And coloring this brought me right back to those magical moments in the safari tour at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And of course Disney, the happiest place on earth. This is by far one of my most favorite pages so far this month that I have completed. This beautiful snow and ice scene features a polar bear and seals swimming in the icy cold water, all within the intricate design of this single snowflake. Now, what was great about coloring this page was the day that I was coloring it, it was actually starting to snow flurry outside, which was so perfect. So I used shades of blue to bring out the chilly, cold vibe of the scene, and it all came together so beautifully. But looking at this page makes me get very cold quick and want to put on a sweater. This lantern is surrounded by branches and leaves, but the real magic lies inside the globe. It holds a miniature mountain scene with a cozy stack of firewood that just gives you a sense of warmth and serenity. And as someone who lives near the mountains, this image feels especially close to my heart. It reminds me of the peaceful charm of the Smoky Mountains, the crisp air, the quiet beauty of nature, and coziness after a long day. This is one of my newest coloring books that I recently got at a used bookstore. The page captures the essence of a mystical battle or maybe alliance in a magical world. A powerful blue dragon commands attention with its striking presence, while the green snakes weave through the scene, adding an air of mystery and danger. The colors are vibrant with an enchanted atmosphere, making the image feel alive with untold stories and a hidden magic. And while I couldn't come up with any dragon stories of my own, this page was still fun to bring to life. I'm sharing a coloring page that brought back so many childhood memories. It features a majestic unicorn in face armor, and as soon as I started working on it, I was reminded of my childhood bedroom. When I was a kid, I had these beautiful purple curtains with white unicorns on them, and unicorns were a huge part of my imagination and the stories I loved. They always felt so magical to me, and they belonged to a world full of wonder and adventure. So to honor that nostalgia, I chose purple tones for this page to match the colors from my childhood room. Coloring this page felt like a journey back in time, a chance to relive a simpler, more magical part of my life. And I tried to find some designs for my warm and cozy theme for December, but a lot of my books just didn't have that type of theme. But here are some of the choices that I made within this book. I did not include every page I colored for Christmas in this video because I have a whole video of its own showing every page I colored for Christmas this year, so be sure to check that out. I had so much fun sharing these coloring pages with you, and I'm even more excited to share next month's coloring pages with you, where I share even more special moments from my own life. And since I mentioned our dog Ruby with her pearl white fur in one of my stories today, I thought you might enjoy seeing what she looks like. Be sure to check out my video for every page that I colored within the months of October and November.